Hi again. I'm going to show you how to do the blind hem. So the blind hem is a special way of folding the fabric using a special stitch on your machine, and it creates an almost invisible hem. It's frequently used on formal wear, dress pants, skirts, that kind of thing. And so I decided to use it on this embroidered vintage nightgown. So from the outside, you can just see it's these tiny little stitches that were taken. And so you want to make sure that your thread is a close match to your fabric. And this is what it looks like on the inside. So to get ready to do the blind hem, you're going to fold it up and press it just the way you would with any regular hem. So I'm going to start by folding up a small amount at first. And this is about 1/4 of an inch. And then I'm going to fold it up to the desired length, which I wanted to fold it up 1 inch. I had already cut it straight. And I just have to press like that all the way around, and we're ready to sew. So I went around the whole bottom edge and I pressed it with a real nice crisp edge, so it's ready to go. Okay, so what we're going to do is we have the pressed hem ready to go, and we're going to start with the right side up. So the hem is at the bottom down here, and what we're going to do is fold the hem up so that the right side of the hem is against the right side of the garment. Now we're going to take the garment and flip it so that we're looking at the wrong side and the hem is tucked underneath, and you can see the small first fold that we made is tucked under like that. So you want to have a little bit of your fold showing. Now, when you're choosing which stitch to do, you're going to want to look for a stitch that looks like straight lines with an occasional zigzag. So for mine, it's number 13. You can see how there's a straight line over here and then a zigzag. Straight line again, and then it's starting another zigzag right here. So 13 and 14 are both blind hem stitches. So this one has mini zigzags and then big zigzags, and this one has straight stitches with a bigger zigzag. So I'm going to show you 2 different presser feet because they look really similar, but one of them is a blind hem foot and the other one is a 1/4 inch foot. So I have a Janome machine, and this one's G, and this is my blind hem foot. This one here is the 1/4 inch foot. And the difference is this one has a guide on the outside on the right side, and this one has that little black guide on the inside of the right edge. It also has this extra little guide right here. So when we're doing the blind hem, this is an awesome little foot, by the way. It helps you do a 1/4 inch seam all the time, but it's not the right one for this. So with the blind hem, this guide is going to be running along this edge of your fabric right here, right at the top. So it's going to be going like that. And this center bar should be resting in this space right here. So it's quite precise, it's quite small, and it's pretty easy to move off a little bit. But that's roughly what you should be aiming for as you're sewing, and that is how the stitch was designed to work. And the stitch is supposed to go over this bar, and that keeps it a little bit looser so that when you're done doing the stitch, once we open this up, then that stitch can kind of flatten out. Or gonna press it too, it's gonna make a big difference, but it's loose enough that it can go flat. And on the right side, you just see those little lines right there. Okay, I'm going to show you first with this scrap piece of fabric, and I'm going to use a dark contrasting thread color so that you can see exactly what's happening. So I'm going to bring it over here, and I've got my blind hem foot on, and this is going to take a little bit of trial and error, so definitely do it on a scrap of fabric first and see if you're lining it upright. So basically what's happening is the machine is doing several straight stitches along the small fold. If I look under here, so it's going stitch, 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 and then it's jumping over into this fold, and then it's going to jump back here. So this little stitch is the only one that's going to show on the outside of the garment. So these little stitches are not going to show because they're going to stay inside, and then it jumps over and grabs just a hair of this fabric. So the goal is to just let the needle grab a tiny bit of this fold here. I'll show you in just a sec. So it looks like that, and when you flip it over to the right side, then you can see the little stitches like that. Okay, so now I'm ready to do it on this nightgown. So remember, I pressed that hem, it's ready to go. I've got the right side facing up, so I'm gonna flip the hem upward, and then I'm gonna flip the whole thing like this so that I'm seeing the inside and just a tiny little bit of the top of the hem peeking out here. And having a matching thread color is gonna make a big difference in how invisible your seam is. And this is what it looks like when it's all done.